Commissioner, this approach and the concept that we adopted, it's a tried and tested operational methodology that we use in many operations in the South African Police Service, which will include different disciplines, as I mentioned, with different capabilities, including intelligence and operational and investigative capabilities in that team, which is multidisciplinary, whose aim is to assist each other to speed up the work that needs to be done. Because ordinarily, you will have a detective working somewhere and the forensic person working somewhere and intelligence working somewhere. But we bring all these together under one central commander that is going to manage them and execute this task. We then establish a command structure of that tasking. And the command structure that is going to focus on the execution of the task. And once after establishing that command structure, we then structure how the investigation is going to be conducted by establishing a central mission area, which we refer to as a mission area in the main, where the joint coordination of the operation is conducted under that commander. And then we, which in this case will have been at the provincial office where I was seated. From there, we will then establish a tactical operational areas, tech jogs, tactical joint operational centers, which are then located in different parts of the province that are going to focus on operational activities in that specific area, and then they will report and come in account to the mission area operational center as they execute their task. As I said, there will be an intelligence gathering, there will be analysis of the information, and then operational coordination, which will also include the investigation, as I said, and as well as the combat that will protect the investigators that are working with them. So it's a team that will be self-sufficient as they work. If a typical example, Commissioner, will have expert from forensic in that team, that as and when they found evidence, for instance, a firearm in the crime scene, they don't have to send it to forensic and leave it like that. They know the workings of the forensic, so they will go in there and be able to engage with their colleague to speed up the process of that analysis. Not necessarily that at times they do it themselves, but they will engage with their colleagues because they have access into forensic, unlike a detective who will put it in the reception area and wait until he's told. But the forensic people that are in the team, they've got access to forensic service. They know their colleagues, so they make it easier to speed up the process. And access to some intelligence resources that we need, because it's allocated there and they are able to perform the work that they're supposed to do with speed, and then be able to engage with the prosecutors that are going to help them guide the investigation from the start to speed up the process, that you don't investigate and you finish and you think you're ready for trial. You go to the prosecutor and you start querying some things on the docket. You work with the prosecutor as you develop this investigation. It gives you guidance in terms of what is required, and you go and collect that. So it is that coordination of the work that was the emphasis for this strategy to help us work, structured in that fashion at the technical side as well as the mission area side. So I hope I've covered everything.
Yes, but midway that page, you list certain operational concepts which I think on their mere reading would sound like they are normal police concepts: intelligence gathering, analysis and coordination and the like. What about this particular task team was peculiar as compared to the previous regarding an approach to these concepts?
The difference is that we will have, Commissioner, as I said, with all these different disciplines coming together, and we have to group them. So we will have I will say different pillars of focus. There are those that are going to focus on information gathering and collection and analysis. And there are those that are going to focus on investigation, engaging closer with the prosecution and the likes. And there are those that are going to focus on combat. When we refer to combat and direction, are those that are doing arrest, takedown, doing searches, coordinate searches and the likes within the team, escorting of detainees from correctional centers to courts and so forth. And they have their own leg that they focus on. And then we also have the communication section that has to communicate the work that the team is doing, so that we have a common message that goes out there. The compilation of the report that is presented to the executive, updating on the work that the team does, as we will be briefing the public from time to time. So we needed to have that pillar. So it was different pillars of this operation that we employed that help us to be able to do the job.
You indicated earlier that a specific and separate budget was required for this exercise. And overleaf, still with the same document, from 144, page 144, you deal with the cost implications of the strategy.